Leo, the new Strait of Hormuz in space. A 4-minute intelligence brief on AI, satellites, and the battle for low Earth orbit. Intro, zero baluro. The world watches the Strait of Hormuz like a hawk. 1/5 of global oil passes through that narrow waterway between Iran and Oman. It's visible on every map, debated in every strategy room, priced into every barrel of crude. But there's another choke point, one you can't see, one that controls something far more valuable than oil. It's called low Earth orbit LEO, the ring of space between 160 and 2,000 kilometers above your head. And right now, China and the United States are locked in an artificial intelligence-powered race to control it. Act 1, the invisible choke point, 045. Former Colonel Timothy Murphy, the first chief of current operations at U.S. Space Command, puts it bluntly: LEO is to the 21st century what the Strait of Hormuz is to oil. Every satellite, every communication system, every GPS signal, every financial transaction routed through space, all of it passes through this orbital layer. And here's the kicker: humans can no longer control it alone. The volume and velocity of space operations have already exceeded human tracking capabilities. The U.S. Space Surveillance Network monitors every artificial object in orbit, over 36,000 tracked debris fragments larger than 10 centimeters, plus thousands of active satellites. They share this data with U.S. and foreign operators to prevent collisions, but the gap is widening fast. Murphy's assessment is stark. In space, AI is not an efficiency tool. It is the only way to maintain control. Act 2, the numbers game, 145. Let me give you the numbers because they're staggering. China has over 1,300 satellites in orbit as of early 2026. SpaceX's Starlink. Over 7,000 operational satellites, giving the U.S. overwhelming dominance for now. But Beijing has filed plans with the International Telecommunication Union for over 200,000 satellites. You heard that right, 200,000. They're pursuing multiple mega constellations. Guang with 13,000 planned satellites, SpaceSail with 15,000, Honghu 3 with 10,000. And just days before New Year's 2026, a Chinese institute filed for two projects, CTC-1 and CTC-2, totaling 193,000 satellites. Between January and April 2026 alone, China conducted 23 space missions. Industry targets suggest over 100 orbital launches this year. The difference in approach is telling. Where SpaceX built Starlink through vertical integration, one company, one rocket family, China is pursuing coordinated industrial planning. Multiple rocket families, multiple launch sites, unified by centralized satellite production and national strategic directives. Act 3, the Achilles heel, 245. Here's where it gets dangerous. Murphy asked the critical question: AI is only as strong as the supply chain behind it. And that supply chain is alarmingly fragile. NVIDIA's GB200 chips, the backbone of modern AI training, are sold out through mid-2026. The backlog: 3.6 million units from major cloud providers alone. TSMC's CoWoS-L packaging capacity is booked solid through 2027. Even with expansion to 120,000, 130,000 wafers per month by late 2026, NVIDIA alone will consume roughly 60% of that capacity. The big five tech companies, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Oracle, have committed $600 to $630 billion in combined capex for 2026, with 75% targeting AI infrastructure directly. Amazon alone projects $200 billion. The GB200 architecture depends on hundreds of global suppliers. That's hundreds of potential failure points in a system that will determine who controls the ultimate high ground. China knows this. Beijing maintains counter-space capabilities ranging from destructive weapons to high-powered lasers and jammers capable of simultaneously targeting GPS, financial transactions, logistics, and communications. A coordinated Chinese effort to jam or blind LEO satellites wouldn't just hit military systems, it would cripple the global economy overnight. Act 4, the trillion-dollar frontier, 340. The commercial stakes are equally massive. The LEO satellite market will grow from $7.5 to $32.6 billion in 2026 to $31.6 to $61.7 billion by 2035, a compound annual growth rate of 14 to 18%. Over 68% of demand is driven by real-time connectivity. 61% of launched satellites are for commercial use, with 42% focused on Earth observation and analytics. And the mood has shifted. At the Satellite 2026 conference in Washington, industry observers noted that the Starlink anxiety of previous years has evaporated. replaced by genuine optimism about orbital data centers, sovereign constellations, and direct-to-device networks. SpaceX is planning an IPO at a $175 trillion valuation after merging with xAI. Elon Musk tweeted in April that satellites with localized AI compute, where only results are transmitted from low latency sun synchronous orbit, will be the most economical way to generate AI bit streams in under 3 years. 1 megaton per year of satellites at 100 kilowatts each equals 100 gigawatts of AI added annually, with no operational or maintenance costs. Conclusion 430. Colonel Murphy's final warning echoes: the country that builds and supplies that infrastructure will not just compete in space, it will define it. The Strait of Hormuz taught us that a single choke point can reshape the global economy overnight. Leo is that choke point for the 21st century. And this time, the battles won't be fought with warships. They'll be fought with algorithms.